Probably the most frustrating thing that can happen to you when you start programming Lego robots is for you to write a program, download it to your EV3, and find that when you run it on your EV3, the robot doesn't do what you expected it to do. In the next 2 lessons, we're going to start to work on a checklist of things to do when your robot doesn't do what you expect. Over time, we'll expand the checklist. For now, we're just going to cover the basics. The most common problem that my students have is probably the most frustrating one of all. They think they're running one program, but in fact, they're running another. Once you're aware this is what's going on, it's no big shock that the robot is behaving strangely. But this happens so often that it's got to go at the head of our checklist. So, what's the first thing you should do when the robot doesn't do what you expect? Reconnect your robot to your computer and hit the download button. After that's complete, the next thing you want to do is make sure that you select the correct project and program to run on your robot. Yeah, of course this is obvious, but it still happens many more times than you'd expect. While you can give your projects arbitrarily long names, it's worth noting that the EV3 display is so small that it only shows the first 15 or so characters in a project name, followed by some ellipses. So if you have 2 projects, the first called Introduction to Motors and the second called Introduction to Sound on your EV3 screen, you'll only see the words Introduction to in both cases, since that already uses up all 15 characters, and so you won't be able to distinguish between them. The EV3 software restricts program names to just 25 characters, but only the first 14 of those characters will show up on your EV3 screen. So again, there's the possibility of confusion if you have multiple similar names. Name confusion is one pretty obvious cause of problems. In the next segment, we'll see a more subtle example of how things can go wrong.